Hey, you know how preparing for an English test can be kind of boring? Well, it's not with E2 language because we have these things called live classes, which are taught by expert teachers. They happen twice a day, 7 days a week. So if you come along, it's actually like live and there's people in the classroom with you and it's happening and you're being taught. You're not studying by yourself. So it makes it way more fun. In the video that you're about to see, you're going to see a replay of one of our live classes. If you want to join our live classes, then go to e2language.com. You can sign up for free and you can join our sample live classes. Anyway, enjoy. Cool. All right. Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay. I am one of the expert IELTS teachers here at E2 Language. It's good to be back teaching IELTS again. It's been a long time since I've taught a live IELTS class. Cool. So what we're going to focus on today is reading. We're going to focus on reading and we're going to focus on a specific task from the reading section, which will come as a big surprise in a second. First things first, you might want to just check your Zoom chat box settings and make sure that it is set up so you can say hello to all panelists and attendees. Okay. That would be good. What we're going to do is welcome. I'm just going to welcome you, whatever that means. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of IELTS reading. We're going to do some quick practice. It'll take about 10 minutes of reading. I'm going to read 3 paragraphs and do some questions. And then we'll finish with a Q&A. And all up, this will take about 30 minutes of your precious time. But I think it'll be well worth it. First of all, the welcome. If you need more help with your IELTS academic or IELTS general, whether it be just for writing or whether it's for the whole exam, then you ought to check out e2language.com, which if you're in this Zoom meeting with me right now, you are already a member of e2language.com, which is great. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to do 2 things. 1 is subscribe to the channel. 2, please come across and sign up for free at e2language.com, which is good. Here is the live class schedule on E2 Language. Right now, just let me get my little drawing tool here. Right now, you are here in the free sample live class on the Monday. Coming up next, later on today, is the new member welcome for those of you who have just got accounts or you're curious about the platform. Later on is academic writing task 1, and after that is general writing task 1. Tomorrow is writing task 2, followed by reading. These are live classes taught by expert teachers with practice and methodologies and lots of fun. And it's actually quite motivating because let's face it, preparing for the IELTS is kind of boring. This makes it fun. Wednesday, speaking, academic task 1 again, general task 1 again, grammar for IELTS, writing task 2 again, writing task 2 advanced, reading, listening, speaking, task 1, task 2. Heaps and heaps for you to do and learn from and improve your IELTS score by joining our live classes. Okay, let's now shift gears and focus on IELTS reading because that is the topic of today's class. So just broadly, IELTS reading will take 60 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's a paper-based or computer-based test. It's 60 minutes. There'll be 40 questions in total. So your score, the maximum score you can get is 40. There are 3 sections to the reading test, okay? So for general training, section 1 consists of 2 to 3 texts. Section 2 is another 2 texts. Section 3 is a single text, okay? General training is different from academic. In academic, you'll get 1 text per section, so 3 texts in total, and they'll be quite long. The good news is the question types, whether you're preparing for general or academic, the question types are the same, okay? The question types are the same. Okay, here's what it's all about in terms of scores. So here's the band score that you're aiming for, 4, 5, 6, or 7, or in academic 5, 6, 7, or 8. And here's what score you need. So if you get 15 out of 40, you'll get a band score of 4. 23 will give you a 5. 30 points will give you a 6. 34 points will give you a 7. That's for general. For academic, it's 15, 5. 23 points will give you a 6. 30 points will give you a 7. 35 points will give you an 8. I don't know exactly what gives you a 9. I think you have to get a perfect score, or maybe you're allowed to lose 1 point only, but you guys don't really need a 9. I think 8's sort of maximum. Anyway, so you need 35 if you're aiming for an IELTS 8. Excuse me, let me turn off my phone. Just into the chat, just let me know what score, what are you aiming for? What's your score? What score are you aiming for? Piyush, 77.578. Ooh, Mifraz, 8.579. That's a good attitude. I like that. Okay, 7s and 8s and 7.5s. Samaya's aiming for a 9. Why not? Aim for as high as you can get. And if you fall short, so be it. Esperance is 8. Cool. All right, so just keep in mind on e2language.com, if you do upgrade your account, it will unlock and you get access to all of the different task types, including methodology lessons and practice, etc. All right, let's do a little bit of practice. We'll look at match headings or headings match, and we're going to look at the computer delivered format, okay? So the paper-based, it's effectively the same thing, and the method that we learn will be the same. But if you do take the computer-based IELTS, the format will be a little bit different than the paper-based, okay? This is what it looks like on test day on the computer. And this, of course, is not English. This is Latin, and this is just for demonstration purposes. So match headings looks like this. You'll see text and numbers. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where you're going to put the heading. And then you'll see the paragraphs of text below that, okay? And over here, let me just move this thing. And over here, let me move myself as well. You'll see the instructions and the headings, okay? So here's the instructions and here are the headings. Now, what you'll notice is that there are more headings. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Here there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there will always be more headings than gaps here. Big question is this: should I read the headings first and match them to the paragraph? Or should I be reading the paragraph first and matching it to the headings? Just pop into the chat what you think. Headings first or paragraph first? What do you think is the best approach here? Nice, we've probably got some E2 language students here. It's a bit of a mix, but haha. All right, let me clear up this one for you. What you should be doing is read the paragraph first. You go from paragraph to headings, okay? What you need to do, the reason why we read the paragraph first is that's what it's all about. What you need to do is read the paragraph and think about the main idea of that paragraph. Then turn your attention to the headings, okay? And go through the headings one by one and think, what would be the best heading for this paragraph here? That's the approach. Don't do it the opposite way. Don't think, okay, let's go from this heading and then read each of these paragraphs. Does that work? No. Read this heading, go to each of the paragraphs. No, that would be very time consuming. So instead we go from paragraph, understand it, get a good idea, then quickly read the headings and go, aha, I think it's that one there. Okay. So you have to make your way through the headings. What did that say? Etc., etc. The other thing you need to do on test day or not do on test day is you need to resist the temptation to keep jumping back into the text because that will waste your time, okay? If you're constantly going back and forth and rereading the paragraph and rereading the headings, etc., you're going to waste time. So obviously you don't want to do that. All right, let's do a little bit of practice. Hopefully you've got a pen and paper next to you because one of the things that you want to do, especially in the live classes on E2 languages, you want to start to build your vocabulary, okay? So if you see any new or unfamiliar words, you might want to write them down on a piece of paper and afterwards you'll go and look them up so you start to build your vocab. All right, let's read the first section together. And this is actually from part of the reading live class. Let me disappear here. Okay, I'm going to read this to you and then we're going to look at the headings. So the World Bank estimates that we will need to produce about 50% more food by 2050 to feed a population of 9 billion people. And the past 50 years have seen agricultural productivity soar. Corn yields in the US have doubled, for example. But this has come with sharp increases in the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and water, which has brought its own problems. There is also no guarantee that this rate of increase in yields can be maintained. Okay, so we've read the paragraph. We understand that. We're going to block this out now. And let's, we don't want to do that. We want to break that habit. Now, just tell me, can you remember what that paragraph was about? Or let's skip through. Let's check the headings here. Which of these headings do you think was the best heading for that paragraph? Pop it into the chat, please. And use the Roman numeral. Just from your memory, which was the best heading of that paragraph that we read? Interesting, interesting. Okay, most people are getting it right, just from memory, which is terrific. Remember, if you're taking the paper-based exam, you'll actually have to write the Roman numeral. That will be the answer here. So it'll be whatever that is, IV or VI, etc. All right, most people have got that correct. So you need to ask yourself, what was this mentioned? Was it the main point as you read through each of the headings? So not happy with that one, not happy with that one. So let's go back one by one. So was that paragraph early mistrust of GM or genetically modified foods? Was that paragraph modification is nothing new? GM's role in healthcare, farming in the Middle Ages, no proof of harm by GM, varying attitudes to GM around the world, technology's role in food output, the Canadian model, or more food production brings more problems? Let's have a closer look. The answer there is, in fact, number 9, or whatever that Roman numeral there is. Let's just read it one more time. So let's read the paragraph and then match it again. So the World Bank estimates that we will need to produce about 50% more food by 2050 to feed a population of 9 billion people. And the past 50 years have seen agricultural productivity soar. Corn yields in the US have doubled, for example, but this has come with sharp increases in the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and water, which has brought its own problems. There is also no guarantee that this rate of increase in yields can be maintained. More food production brings more problems is the best heading for this paragraph. None of these ones are a good heading for this paragraph. If you got that, you're on 1 point so far. This time you can do it. I won't read it. You read it yourself. I'll give you 90 seconds to read through this. Okay. Okay. What was that paragraph about? let's skip that. Let's check the headings. Which of these was the best heading for that paragraph? Great work. Most people are getting it. Nice work. That's terrific. I reckon about 90% of you got that correct. Maybe more. Good stuff. Okay, so what you need to be careful of, and this is for all the different tasks in IELTS, is just matching words, okay? Okay, so beware of simply matching vocabulary or minor points. So just because the word here has Middle Ages, and it also has Middle Ages here in the paragraph, this paragraph is not about farming in the Middle Ages, okay? Yes, it contains these two words and they're exactly the same, but this is not about this. That's what we call a distractor, okay? So one of the things that the IELTS test writers do is they'll do that. They'll put the same words in the headings, and they'll put the same word will be in the paragraph. And some people will fall for that and they'll go, because it says that and it says that there, that must be it. No, you need to read deeply, okay? More deeply than that. The other thing is here is GM. So genetically modified, or GM, was mentioned several times in the headings. In fact, 4 times in the headings. It was also mentioned in the paragraphs. But let's just go through. So early mistrust of GM. Is there anything here that was about early mistrust of GM? Let's just read this second part here. It says, genetic modification, or GM, used appropriately with proper regulation may be part of the solution. Yet, GM remains a highly contentious topic of debate where, unfortunately, the underlying facts are often obscured. So early mistrust of GM? No. GM's role in healthcare? No. No proof of harm by GM? No. Varying attitudes to GM around the world? No. Okay, so even though it's got lots of headings with GM, I'm going to rule all of those out. So this is what it was really all about. So please just have one more read through here of this section and then select again, or you can change your answer if you want. Hey, are you enjoying this live class replay? Hopefully you are. Remember, if you want to join them live in the moment with expert teachers and all of your peers, then go to e2language.com and sign up for free. Hopefully you've selected that one there, which is number 7. Okay, so that is the heading, and that's what you would do. You would drag that up to the top in the computer-based IELTS test and pop it there. Technology's role in food output. Okay, that is what certainly the first half of the paragraph was about. This second part, which was about genetic modification, none of these are actually related to it. Okay. Okay, over to you for paragraph 3. You have 90 seconds to answer number 3. Okay, how did you go there? Let's have a look. Oh, what are we doing here? Oh, sorry. The answer there, just to sort of do it very quickly, varying attitudes to GM around the world, okay? So really this sentence here is very close to this anyway, but let's read the paragraph. Views on GM differ across the world. Almost half of all crops grown in the US are GM, whereas widespread opposition in Europe means virtually no GM crops are grown there. In Canada, regulation is focused on the characteristics of the crop produced, while in the EU, the focus is on how it has been modified. GM crops do not damage the environment, blah, 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 blah. If we look at this, early mistrust of GM, no. Modification is nothing new, no. GM's role in healthcare, no. Farming in the Middle Ages, no. No proof of harm by GM, no. And the Canadian model, no. Varying attitudes to GM around the world is the best heading for this paragraph. It doesn't capture all of it, doesn't get the last bit, for example, but it certainly captures the first 3/4 or 3/4 of it. So what's your score out of 3 for those 3 questions? Can you pop that into the chat, please? What's your score out of 3? 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 3 exclamation marks. Yay, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3. Cool, nice. Nice, nice. I thought that second question was a bit tricky with all the GM stuff. And in fact, the heading wasn't even about GM. So I thought that was a bit tricky. Let's do a little challenge here just before we finish up. Okay, I just want you to write down what's the missing word here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've given you the first letter or couple of letters. See if you can get all 5 words. And if it's a verb, please get the correct verb tense. Nice, TJ. Got number 3. Sabathini got number 3 as well. Good. Number 4. Is it increase or increases? Cool. This is a fun little game. Okay, let's have a little look here. The World Bank estimated. Anyway, let's go through them. Oops, I was supposed to give you 90 seconds. I forgot. And you've already put them into the chat. So the World Bank estimates. It could have been estimated, actually. And it could also be estimate, because sometimes this is a collective noun. Sometimes we do this style with the S, sometimes not. That's a tricky one. Estimates. If you got something like estimates, estimate, that'd be correct. Population saw increases. This needed to be a plural noun. And maintained. This needed to have the ED ending. So what did you get out of 5 for that little quiz? What's your score out of 5 there? Anyway, luckily that's not part of the IELTS test, by the way. That's just us having a little bit of fun there. So you'll never see that question in IELTS. Cool. So just a reminder, right at the start, somebody asked, I can't remember your name, you asked about synonyms, which is a real key here. Probably not for this particular question type, headings match, but in other IELTS reading questions, the use of synonyms is really critical. But there seems to be 3 key reading skills across the IELTS reading test. There's what's called skimming. That means you're reading for an overall idea and the structure, okay? So what's the text about? How is it organized, etc.? So it's sort of broad level reading. Then you've got a different type of reading called scanning. It's almost just like looking for something or finding something, okay? It's probably using that same part of the brain where I go, where did I put my wallet? Where did I put my wallet? Where am I? You know, I'm looking for something. That's really scanning, because you're looking for something specific. Where is the relevant information, or where is that specific word? Then you've got careful reading. This is where you go deep into the vocabulary and grammar, and you need to demonstrate your understanding by answering the questions correctly. So there's different sort of reading processes that happen in IELTS. It's not just reading. Reading has there are different types of reading: skimming, scanning, and careful reading, three of which you'll definitely use. Hopefully you wrote down some new vocabulary from that lesson. We highly recommend that while you're preparing for IELTS and you're coming across new words, new vocabulary that you're unfamiliar with, that you write them down so you can look them up later. Words maybe were like widespread, crops, yields, soar, pesticides, productivity, who knows? Maybe you know these, maybe you don't. You should be trying to boost your vocabulary. After class, you can look up the meaning, translation, and create a simple example sentence to help you memorize these. If you want more reading help though, what I strongly recommend you do is sign up to our live classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have reading practice where you'll do actual practice just like we did, but we'll go through all of the different questions over a few weeks. And of course, in our course materials, we have the practice questions as well. There's also vocabulary word lists. If you do miss a live class, you can watch the recording there. If you need any help, or if you've got any questions about our IELTS preparation courses, you can email hello@e2language.com, or you can just go straight to the website. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to e2language.com and sign up for free. Start preparing properly. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that replay of our live class. Remember, if you want to join in the live class action, check out e2language.com. You can sign up for free and join our sample live classes. And if you do want to upgrade, then you'll get heaps of live classes. And in fact, you can get unlimited live classes on some of the packages. They will help you enormously, and they make test prep kind of fun. Cool. Cheerio.